Hey there, coin lovers. Welcome back to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare treasures. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that's not just a piece of history, but a symbol of American craftsmanship and legacy, the 1892 Morgan silver dollar. Trust me, you're going to love every little detail about this magnificent piece because it's way more than just metal and numbers. It's a time machine in your hands. All right. Let's set the stage a little. The year is 1892. Imagine the scene. America is buzzing with change. New inventions are popping up everywhere. Cities are booming. The Wild West is still fresh in people's memories, and there's a spirit of unstoppable growth across the nation. And right in the heart of this era, we have a Morgan silver dollar, a shining star minted from the rich veins of American silver. Now, why is it called a Morgan dollar, you ask? That's all thanks to a brilliant English engraver named George T. Morgan. He was brought to the U.S. Mint specifically to spice things up, and boy, did he deliver. Morgan wanted to create a coin that celebrated America in a fresh, bold way. He didn't want another boring, generic design. He wanted something alive, something full of pride. And that's exactly what he gave us with the Morgan silver dollar, especially the 1892 version. The design itself is absolutely iconic. On the front, you've got Lady Liberty, but not just any Liberty. Morgan used an American schoolteacher, Anna Willis Williams, as his model. She represented the everyday spirit of the people, intelligent, strong, and beautiful in a real, approachable way. Lady Liberty wears a Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom, with cotton and wheat tucked into her hair, showing America's agricultural backbone. Every tiny detail is crisp and thoughtful. Flip it over, and there's this breathtaking eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows in an olive branch. Power and peace, perfectly balanced. The words "In God We Trust" are boldly inscribed above, reminding everyone of the nation's ideals. Now, the 1892 Morgan silver dollar wasn't just struck at one location. Nope, it came out of several different mints. Philadelphia, no mint mark, New Orleans with an O, San Francisco with an S, and Carson City with a legendary CC. Each mint gave the coin its own tiny quirks, and collectors go absolutely crazy trying to spot the differences. And speaking of Carson City, let's pause there for a second, because the 1892 CC Morgan is pure magic for collectors. Carson City coins are special because the mint itself was relatively small and didn't produce huge quantities. Plus, Carson City is steeped in Old West lore. Think cowboys, gold rushes, and dusty saloons. Holding an 1892 CC Morgan dollar feels like holding a slice of that wild past. But even the Philadelphia, New Orleans, and San Francisco coins have their own charm, and they're all rich in historical context. Remember, 1892 was the year Ellis Island opened its doors to millions of immigrants. The U.S. was shaping itself into a melting pot of dreams, and this coin was right there in people's pockets and purses, witnessing it all. Now, you might be wondering, what's it made of? Well, the 1892 Morgan is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. It weighs about 26.73 grams, and it's 38.1 millimeters in diameter, a solid, satisfying coin that feels amazing in your hand. Each one had a face value of $1 back then. But today they're worth way more, depending on condition, mint mark, and rarity. Speaking of condition, let's get into that, because it's fascinating. Collectors don't just want any 1892 Morgan. They're after ones that have survived in great shape. When you hear terms like MS65 or mint state, that's what they mean. Coins that look almost exactly the way they did the day they were minted. The shinier, cleaner, and crisper the details, the higher the value. A heavily circulated 1892 Morgan might fetch you a couple $100. Still pretty impressive, right? But a pristine, mint-condition 1892 CC Morgan? We're talking thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars at auctions. Some ultra-rare specimens can even light up a collector's heart for six figures. That's no exaggeration. Real sales have happened like that. Now, here's a cool little detail. You can spot the mint mark by looking just above the DO in dollar on the back. No mint mark means Philadelphia. Oh, it's New Orleans. S is San Francisco. And if you're lucky enough to see a CC, well, congratulations, you're holding a legend. Another thing to appreciate is how these coins were made. Each one was struck by massive steam-powered coin presses that thundered away inside grand old mint buildings. It took serious craftsmanship and state-of-the-art technology for time to create these beauties. No sloppy work here. Every detail was hammered into hard metal with incredible precision. And here's another nugget. 1892 was a challenging year economically. The U.S. was heading toward what would become the Panic of 1893, a brutal economic depression. That means fewer people could afford to keep shiny new coins tucked away. Many 1892 Morgans got heavy use, buying bread, paying bills, passing from hand to hand, which makes finding pristine examples even more thrilling today. Now, let's talk about silver. The silver in these coins came from massive mining operations in the American West, especially Nevada's Comstock lode. This silver rush fueled not only coins, but also massive economic growth and political battles over currency standards. At the time, there was a heated debate between silverites and gold bugs, basically whether U.S. currency should be backed by silver, gold, or both. The Morgan silver dollar sat right at the heart of that controversy. It's pretty wild when you think about it. This little chunk of silver isn't just a pretty face. It's a witness to political fights, economic booms and busts, immigration waves, and the building of modern America. And honestly, that's what makes collecting coins like the 1892 Morgan so addictive. You're not just collecting stuff. You're collecting moments, stories, dreams. Each tiny scratch, each worn edge tells a story of the hands that held it, the pockets it jangled in, the transactions it witnessed. Plus, let's be real, there's something just satisfying about silver. The weight, the feel, the sound it makes when you gently tap it on a table. That pure, rich ting that no modern coin can quite replicate. Silver coins have a soul to them. Okay, so let's say you're thinking, all right, I'm convinced. I want an 1892 Morgan silver dollar. How do I get one? Good question. First rule, know your seller. Counterfeits are sadly pretty common, especially for rare and valuable coins. You want to buy from reputable dealers, auction houses, or collectors who have a solid track record. Second, learn to grade coins. Even a basic understanding of how to spot, wear, luster, and stripe details can save you big bucks and help you make smart choices. And third, trust your gut. If something feels too good to be true, like someone offering you a mint state 1892 CC Morgan for $50, it probably is. Be cautious, do your homework, and don't rush. You can also get coins that have been professionally graded and sealed by companies like PCGS or NGC. They come in these neat little plastic holders called slabs that guarantee authenticity and protect the coin. All right, I know this has been a lot, but honestly, we're just scratching the surface. If you're still with me, that means you're seriously hooked on the magic of the 1892 Morgan silver dollar. And honestly, who can blame you? There's just something mesmerizing about a coin that holds so much history, beauty, and hidden stories. Now that we know the basics, the design, the mint marks, the silver content, and importance, let's dive even deeper into what makes the 1892 Morgan truly stand out among other coins. Let's talk about rarity for a minute. Not all 1892 Morgans are created equal. For example, the Philadelphia coins were minted in decent numbers, about 1.04 million coins. Sounds like a lot, right? But in the coin world, that's actually not a massive number, especially considering how many of those coins were worn out, melted down, or simply lost over time. Now check this out. The 1892 CC Morgan from the legendary Carson City Mint had a total mintage of just about 1.35 million coins. Again, seems like a good number, but factoring in over a century of history, the survivors are way fewer than you'd imagine, especially in high grades. Add in the mystique of the Wild West and boom, instant collector's dream. The New Orleans O Mint pumped out around 2.74 million coins, while the San Francisco S Mint produced just 1.2 million. Both are considered moderately scarce today, but high-grade examples, like Mint State 65 or better, are rare and super desirable. And that leads to a really important point. Grade makes the difference. You might have two 1892 Morgans sitting side by side, and one could be worth $100, while the other could fetch $10,000 or more, all because of condition. Collectors often dream about finding what's called a DMPL, that stands for Deep Mirror Proof-like. These are coins that have surfaces so shiny, they literally reflect like a mirror. Imagine looking into a silver coin and seeing your reflection crystal clear. Finding an 1892 Morgan with that deep mirror proof-like quality is like finding hidden treasure. Now here's something that'll blow your mind. Many Morgan dollars spent decades locked away in U.S. Treasury vaults, completely forgotten. It wasn't until the 1960s that the government started releasing hordes of them to the public. Collectors call it the Great Treasury Release, and it turned the coin market upside down overnight.